And sometimes when you tinker, you find things that you didn't plan. And I can say nobody asked for this, and also myself, I didn't ask for that. I was not really interested to do anything that brings a damping or a force into the steering, because I was happy. I was happy as long as the steer, the headset, was not tightened too tight. What happens if you tighten the headset too tight? What happens?
Bind. Starts to bind. Stick.
Yeah, okay, that happens to the headset. Now my question is, what happens to you? When your headset, not your headset, I mean the headset of your bicycle is too tight, what happens to you?
It becomes difficult to turn.
I think a child has enough power still to turn it.
If it's over tight.
Yeah, okay. If it's seized, you're right. Let's say it's just going turning not free. What happens when you ride? Okay, one more hint. No hands.
Balance.
No, you try to ride, no hands. What happens when the headset is too tight?
Fall.
You cannot balance yourself.
You cannot ride it, right? It's impossible. If such a little force like a tight headset already makes it close to impossible to ride your bike hands-free, that gives us an indication that the relatively small forces have a relatively big effect on riding. These are about 100 grams, 150 grams we're talking about here. And it makes, with no hands, already a big difference. Now with hands on, the steering forces here on the handlebar are around, without bumps, without jumping, just the steering function is about 100 grams to 1 kilo. Okay. How much is it in your car? Just guess. How much is it in your car?
Half of it.
So
500 gram to a kilo and a half.
You're too good. You're too good. You know the answer already. Yeah. How come? It's around half a kilo to 2 kilo, 2.5 kilo, on a good car like on a Porsche, for example. So the forces are relatively small. So we don't discuss when we induce forces to a steering that you get caged or you cannot do what you want anymore, because even a child has enough power to turn anything around 2 kilo. Okay, and we are here at about half. Just when you're parking, no, it's different, especially if you have no servo, because when you're parking, you have how you call that?
Friction.
Yeah, direct friction, one-to-one, solid body friction. Actually, it's not really solid body because the rubber behaves a little bit like a very thick liquid. It's a viscosity the tire delivers, but let's make it simple. Let's say two solid body friction. When you're rolling, I have a rolling resistance and I have rolling friction, and it's much easier to turn it. You know, when you're parking lot, when your foot on the brake, it's hard, and when you roll a little bit, it gets much more easy. When you go fast, it's just a few hundred grams. Okay, and everything below 50 grams is very hard to detect, to feel on your hand. Okay, good. So forces, let's say up to 2.5 kilo, cannot limit us in any way. Okay, as human beings. Okay. Maybe can be a problem for a mouse, but mice are typically not riding on mountain bikes. Okay, just sometimes chickens. That's why we have the chicken ways, right? But there is something that really can make you unhappy on a bicycle, and this is something very smart engineers put on a bicycle or on a one how you call it, one lane vehicle, a two-wheeler, okay, two wheels behind each other, and this is a damper. They put it on because they want to help you, and actually they take away your fun. It's shit. Why? Because a damper works, I don't know which kind of demonstration, I have no chair anymore. We have a hard one and a soft one. Can I get your chair? Yeah. I will bring it back. Again, just for that we're clear about damping, because it's sometimes they say, well, why you don't put in damping? Okay, we get shocks here, we get shocks here. Why you don't dampen that? That makes the thing easier. Yeah, God damn, it makes the thing not easier, it makes it worse, because damping is always making things slower than they are without damping. Okay, like when you beat against that here. Okay, this resistance. Oh shit! This one. I need a mouse here. Who is the most heavy guy who can? Okay. Here I have a very short deceleration. That's the same like acceleration. Just you put a minus in front. You just change plus to minus. It's a braking acceleration, okay, a deceleration. A very short way, and it will create a hard impulse, and that I don't like. That is the reason why you use suspension and the dampening. And the dampening makes this, okay. It distributes the force over longer time, and time also means distance. Yeah, speed is distance divided by time. Okay? So when I give more braking or crash zone, I distribute it over longer time, and the dampening will help to keep the impulse. It's not 100% correct, but simple, because it's more spring and dampening are two things, but just let's assume making things slower, making them less powerful. But why it's shit, okay, to put a dampening in a steerer, where I can digest, I can take away this unwanted forces from you, is when I want to go somewhere, the damper is stupid. He also says, no, slow, 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 okay? And when the engineer was a complete idiot, then he made it slow even backwards. If he's not so stupid, just semi-stupid, he's making it slow this way, out of the typical riding direction, which is not this way or 90 degree that or backwards, and makes it slow backwards, okay? But still, it just doesn't follow your little finger. Like I can say a little my Vorbild. How you say that? What's the word for Vorbild? Huh?
Idol.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, a technical idol. Yeah, okay. Walter Röhrl says always, if I steer, I expect my car, if I move my little finger, to do exactly what I did with my little finger. Finish. End of discussion. And everything else is not good. So a steerer does not do that. It just slows your reactions down. If you go slow, like we said, it's okay. Slow reactions, slow riding is okay. But when you go faster, you have to react typically faster, and then a damper becomes more and more worse. Okay? I hope, who still wants a damper on a bicycle now? Hands up. Who wants a damper?
Last time we were talking about the OP. I don't know if the old guy remembered the OP damper.
The Hopi. I forgot the name, and when he told me now, it was with
Remember that guys?
white at the end.
It was like on the steering, taken there, and he was actually absorbing the force as soon as the steering was accelerating. But then when you wanted to actually react quickly, you had the same effect, which was not great because you couldn't move fast enough. And I remember testing that back in the days where the bike were tiny, 26-inch wheels and things like that. And I did understood the concept that was used on the MotoGP at the time and on asphalt, but not off-road by the motos, or maybe Dakar, but nothing practical like enduro or anything close to mountain biking. And no, it didn't work. So the answer is no. Don't want to damper on the second.
Last time it took me 2 hours and it was too long, so I tried to shorten it this evening. Last time we were talking also about resonant frequencies, and when it comes when something that gives impulses in your system, meatloaf plus vehicle, okay? If it's close to their own, we call it a swing frequency, the own frequency of the part, okay? The moment of inertia, MOI in English, okay? When it comes close, it starts to get in resonance and swing up, right? If you have this kind of problem, you need to increase the mass, and we discussed last time, I just make it in short, one bicycle. I had a bicycle. I don't have the bicycle. Ah, okay, good. Then we take that one. It's okay, yeah. If I need to say, I want to give you back the chair. Okay. If you have resonance effects on a riding system, single lane, I mean two-wheeler, like we know, then typically which part is a problem that starts to get in resonance? Which part is that?
The front wheel.
Yes, exactly. Actually, the front wheel, everything sticking to the front wheel, starting from the head cup shell. Okay, everything that's outside from that. We have actually two pieces, like on a camping chair. Okay, for the folding mechanism. One part of the bicycle is that here, what turns now. The other part is the part that doesn't turn. Okay, I also can make this one opposite. Okay, it's the same. It's like the dog is waving with a tail, or the tail is waving with a dog. Okay? This is a very good, a very smart comparison, actually. I'm proud. Because the dog is heavy and the tail is lightweight, right? And what do we have here? What is the dog and what is the tail? It's a tricky question, okay? Don't answer very quickly. What is the tail and what is... You are too smart. You may not answer now. Because then there's no gag anymore. Okay?
That's the tail.
Oh, you did it. I said, no, you... What is the tail? What is it? What is the dog?
Dog.
Oh, you also... Okay, the same. Okay, you all know. Okay, it's right. It's the heavy part and the lightweight part. And because that's a lightweight part, having a low moment of inertia, it's also prone. It's sensitive against impulses to start shaking and to get in sync. In sync is when you have a child. Now you will see why we have K.I.S here, even on this lousy, flimsy table. The bicycle just stands. It doesn't do that. Okay. So K.I.S actually means I'm a better sidekick. Stand. Okay. That's the reason why we really did it. In sync means when you have a child on a swing and you just do it in the right moment, it will swing higher and higher, and we really do it with some power. You even can rotate your child at the end. Okay. Maybe it's falling down, but in principle it would work. Okay. You could, even with small impulses, and that's a trick. Small impulses sometimes create two big problems, not only in world policy, now also on our bicycle. Now, because this is the light part, these impulses typically are closer to the frequency of their own frequency, the Eigenfrequenz, okay, of this part. When they're close about square root of 4, square root of 2, that means 1.44 times, roughly, then it starts, okay? Then it starts. 1 to 1, it's a verse. But even with square root 2, 1.44 something, close, the frequency that pushes, okay, and the moment of inertia, I don't know the exact term for Eigenfrequenz. That means the behaviorable frequency of a part. It's a
Eigenfrequency.
eigenfrequency. Okay, yeah, in English. Nobody understands this funny language of this small country in the middle of Europe. Okay, then it starts shaking. Now, how can I get out of resonance? I can go faster or slower. Typically, I cannot because I want to go at that speed, or I don't have enough power to go faster. Or I increase the mass on that part to make it more heavy. I put a bag of cement here, or Fab has here something under his table. You didn't know that, but
It would be empty.
I did by purpose. I did it by purpose. I think this was the right place to put the beer. You put that on the front here, and it will be out of resonance. So it will be very stable riding. But what the disadvantage is clear, right? You don't always have beer. And you get slow. But there's another trick you could do. You will find this now, I think, maybe if you're smart yourself, smarter than me. It took me a long time. But I also put you a little bit on the way, okay, so maybe you can discover. You could steal some mass, some heavy thing, not the spear, you could steal something else. I'm the meatloaf, I'm here on the bicycle, okay? This is a dog, this is a tail. Where can you borrow some inertia, some weight to get that out of resonance and make it more, or when you get here a bump, to make it more stable? Where can you steal this mass? Yeah, from the dog. The rear part, including me. Yeah. That means if I would make this here one piece, I would have no wobble and resonance effects anymore here, right? Of course. Yeah, because you cannot turn anymore. Right? Okay, I cannot steer, so not a good idea to weld it. But I can make it stiffer. I can put in, for example, a damper to make it stiffer, to connect it with some force to the heavy part here. So if I can steal some inertia from here and transport for there, that would be out of resonance. That's the principle of a damper that makes sense when I have resonance at high speeds. Typically, there's 100 kilometer and there's 200, above 200 kilometer at dangerous frequencies where I can get in resonance. Okay? But it makes it slower, the reaction also, because when I stiffen that out, I cannot do just like that, right? With a dampening force, because the dampening force, you don't do that, you do that here. And I say, oh shit, I miss, like Honda is saying in the race, in the RC team, they say going wide, okay? That means if you eat it crashed outside the curve going wide, you will go wide, okay? And you will just hit that and will not go where you want it to go. But if you have this resonance problem at high speeds, you have no choice. You have to eat this. You have to eat that sour lemon or bite into this lemon. Okay. We don't have that because we are typically not in the areas where we get on good bicycles at least, where the weight distribution is right at least, resonance effects. We get it if we have, which bikes? Reiseräder in German. The travel bikes. When you load a lot of weight here, behind the center of mass, and the center of mass of a rider here is a little bit below the belly, about this far in front. So it's pretty much like that. If you ride in a typical riding position, it's about there. We tried that a long time ago with that guy. You know, when you cook a pig on an open fire, you put it on a stick and turn it, right? You know this? Right? Or you also can put on a cow, whatever, or a sheep. Okay. And if you do that with a mountain biker, okay, just you don't put in the stick like this way, you put the stick this way, okay? And you put him in a freezer, so he's frozen, he don't move anymore. We used honey at that time. is a guy who.
Freezer. For my luck.
And you put some wood here, fix him to that, and you just move the center until you can turn him all around and always standing still, okay? Then you find the center of gravity. You freeze a mountain biker, you put through an axle, and you move the axle so long that when you turn him, okay, turn him in this position, okay, like I make it, okay? A Putzelbaum, I don't know the English word, a salto, probably. Then when it sticks in a position, then that is the center of gravity. Very easy, you can do that at home. God is not playing games, it's physics. You can try out yourself, it's about there. Okay, so why did I say that with the center of gravity? Okay.
It's the influence on the city bike.
Yes, exactly. If you put a mass behind the center of gravity, which is about, I don't know, somewhere about there, okay? If I put it behind that, then this is counteracting to that in front. And it lifts, I get a weight shift, makes it lighter in front relative to the rear, not absolutely, but relative to the rear. And it gets more mass here, so the front is even turning with this long lever around this mass point. That means the center of gravity is moving backward. If I put here something heavy, it's not here anymore, it's here. That's also when you put your bum on the backside, also you're shifting the center of gravity backwards with all these kind of effects, and that's also why it's not always so good when you are afraid that you go backwards, because the front wheel then gets like a loose stick in front. It's a little bit like I put something here in front and let it find its own way. You know, just a blind guy with the 3 spots doing that. That's what you turn in a bicycle when you put on big bags with something like that. Or you shift your weight really back when you go with your head behind the saddle. Good racers do that. That's why, or better riders, that's why they often go much more in front than you expect just from the center of gravity. Okay, you're afraid what's the word? Yes. You're afraid of that. But the real problem is if you move your mass so much backward that you get a loose front end, and the resonance frequency and everything is really lousy.
What Jo is explaining here is what we've been discussing a lot the last almost 10 years now about geometry. The position of the reach and stack versus the position of the wheel that is actually making this scene balance where we're looking for that perfect and compromise for each athlete. So it's very subjective. Every time we come to a conclusion, I mean, as a brand, it can be a conclusion that will be right for a certain amount of people, but surely not for everyone. So what we are trying to aim now is to make decisions that will be relevant for let's say bike brand range. But on the other hand, what Jo is explaining is that you find this effect for everyone in every case, in every situation, and what would be the solution to get rid of this lack of stability that we are always aiming to have without losing the handling capacity of the bike.
Thank you for bringing me back on the way, right? Because that just should kill dampening and steering dampers totally. They are senseful for high-speed resonance effects, but they're always a compromise, and they're shitty for the problems that we face on or for the situation that we face on a bicycle. On a bicycle, actually, we're happy. Since 100 or close to 200 years, it started with where is the picture with these old bicycles?
This one?
The very old ones, the 3. Thank you. The first bicycles already had the same situation like we have now. They just had no steering angle, which was somewhat a good idea and somewhat a bad idea. I will explain very short why. And then pretty early they found out, oh, if we angle that turning axle, this folding chair, like that, not like that, what happens? What happens then?
Increase stability. You get a trail.
Yes, yes, yes. You don't get a two-piece assembly, you get more something like a linked assembly, like a semi-one-piece assembly. And they found out the flatter you go, the more you get that effect, but later the people that survived that found out you get a negative effect also, which is nowadays called the wheel flop. Now, why do you think you have chopsticks in front of you? That's a question I'd ask you because I know you don't know the answer this time. This is the first time you will not know the answer. You always know the answer, but this time you don't know. Okay, it's because you use a beer mat, okay? A beer mat is a Bierfuzel. Sagt man auf Englisch gescheit da. Ja, nicht das Scheißding. Die runden, yeah, this one, right. You can throw. And you could put that like that. And if it's not enough, you also can put a rubber around. Yeah, everybody can use it. It's a free gift from Kenyan. Especially the black and red ones are from Kenyan. Maybe you want to look at the graphics also, it's very interesting. I was not involved in that. Who has this? Do you want to look on the back side, on the picture? Mm-hmm. Who bought that? Right. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. Now, normally they're doing bicycles, as you know. Yeah. Everybody ready?
Just put the end of the stick in the center of the thing.
Oh, yes, yes. Get it about in the center. Maybe get the rubber ring close, then it's...
More stable.
Right. What's the English word for Hebegesetze? The laws of levers?
Kinematics?
Yeah, kinematics maybe. Is that English term. Okay. Everybody ready? What they did in the beginning, they made something like that with 0 degree steering angle. It's like in your office chair, for example, okay? Just your office chair won't work like that. So typically the office chair has a vertical axle, but it also has what? What do you call that?
Caster.
A caster, a trail, ein Nachlauf, a amount of distance that pulls actually the wheel. Okay, so okay. How to create that? Like on a bureau, like on an office chair, like that. But you find out if you go high speed with an office chair, that's a quite interesting experience. I would recommend to everybody to do that. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have here an office, so no office chairs. Otherwise, you just can push. If you don't have that, just use a shopping cart in a Baumarkt, in a supermarket. Just put somebody inside and push it. And you will find out, even if you have caster, a trail, the wheels will do like that. Okay? Now, these guys, I think by experiment, they found out when they angle that, it started to get controllable, to go in a line. Okay? Why is that? Why it's going into a line? I need to speed up, I'm too slow. I should have got a coffee. Can somebody get me a coffee?
Yeah. Or a beer.
Huh?
Beer.
Espresso. A French coffee. The real coffee is coffee creme. No. So where's my? Okay. Actually, I marked the hole. So what happens when you use a steering angle, when we use the wheel like that? What happens?
You're pushing the wheel.
I'm also pushing the wheel like that. Look, I put that here. I push my bike, I push the wheel. I'm still pushing it. I'm pushing it like that. I make a chopper. Okay, I'm still pushing it. But it does something else different.
Creates caster, so there's a self-centering force.
Yeah, I could see the pain in your face. Why it's not going on? Why it's asking the stupid question? It's very clear. Of course, it's caster. Yes, it's caster. It's pulling the wheel. It's like you have your dog, walking your dog, and the dog doesn't want this. You just pull it after you, and the dog will follow you in a more or less straight line, right? Even the dog doesn't want to do it. No. If you pull really hard, you center it. You center it. Just like a pendulum in gravity, always goes automatically down to the center. And when you pull something, it's always a centering force, returning force. So, but when I angle that here, can you please explain me why I pull it? You're right, I still push it. So why I pull it? I don't understand that. Help me. I'm pushing a wheel, I'm pushing a wheel, I'm pushing a wheel, and when I do that, he says it's pulling the wheel. I push it. Why is he saying it's pulling it?
Pulling the rest of the bike. Pulling the rider.
Yeah, you're going the right direction. It's something to do with the bike, and I tell you, I mean, I know the answers. That's why I'm so super smart and you look stupid, yeah, right? But it's unfair. I know this is unfair, right? Actually, I'm not smarter than you. I just prepared the thing, so I know how to ask stupid questions, okay? It's this part. This part makes it pulling. And you know why? Because it's an axle. Okay? And last time I already get a lot of compliments for my egg. I mean for my circle. Wow. Much better than last time, huh?
That's good.
I tried to do it like that, but I always can just make a half circle and I don't know how to finish. So I think professional teachers do it from the shoulder and they just go like that, right? But it's too big then. So, okay. Also, I'm not a teacher. So we have here that, and we have here, oh no. Here we have a road. Okay. And then most of you know already what I'm doing now, so I'm doing it quickly. I don't like boring things, really. So this is the steering axle, and I make now no offset of the fork. This also, some people complained last time. They said, you didn't explain right. You were that, the offset of a fork, so I will do that this time better. So that's the basic situation. And you are right, I'm pushing that, right? I'm pushing that. Okay? Now, the explanation from school is, normally it's like that, okay? You make this, you extend that until it hits the floor line, which is here, okay? Here, you extend that, and then you do what? Yeah, you fell a perpendicular, right? I'm so proud I know this English term, fell a perpendicular. You made a vertical line here, and here we have then a right angle. And then we say, this is the trail, the caster, this green little sucker is our life insurance, this is our fun deliverer, this is our stability. This makes this two-piece assembly, this stupid two-piece assembly in a smart one. Because they say this is the amount you're pulling the wheel. Does anybody understand why this should pull the wheel? Really? I mean, I trust them. They're my teachers, and I know they don't lie at me. But do you understand why this here, why should I make here rectangular? Is it straight? Yeah. Okay, about, okay? Why is it pulling? Okay. Thank you that nobody answered that. Otherwise, would be no gag anymore. I will make it better than last time. When you look on that assembly on a bicycle, just look this way. Just look this way. Look here, flat on the floor, on the whole situation. Okay. Now I will end the rest of the presentation here in that position. Just bring me later something to eat. Why? Because the only connection to the ground of this whole system is here and there. So when I want to understand what's happening in riding mechanics, when I move this over a terrain, if I'm flying, different story. Then we have aerodynamics mainly, and we have mass and moments around this mass, okay? But when I'm riding, I only have these 2 points. So when I want to understand why something is getting loose or when something is stable, I have to always look on this level, on that level, okay? Not on your table level where you have your arms on, no, or not here. Just here on the floor. Okay, when you look here on the floor, then, okay, this one, no, French. Okay, and I prepared that especially, that is about the contact patch of a tire, okay? It's a long oval, okay? Maybe this way, it's nearly just like here a little bit. That side, okay, over. And put that on. No. That's why I have a broom I can clean later here. Oh, you smiled. Finally, you smiled. And actually, I wanted to eat that later because I didn't really get something, but maybe the floor is clean. So, okay. Oh, I have to just look that we have about, not this angle, doesn't matter, really. You also could offset forks on some modern concepts. You change steering angle, you change the offset, and also you change the parallelity. You make it non-parallel, typically in front. But we look just on the real definition, defining part, sorry, which is that one here. And then we create here our contact patch, the tire, okay? You see, this is about right. Angle, I cannot see it from here. And the contact patch is about centered? Okay, good. Then I allow myself to go away from here, that's easier. Now I steer, okay? It's a shopping bike, okay? Of course, it should be here. And when I steer, you can now observe for the first time maybe in your life what's happening. I don't understand this really. Okay? When I turn here, you see what the bread is doing? I mean, last time some people couldn't see it. If you cannot see it, like you there, stand up. Stand up, yeah. Get some air under the heated area here. And because it's maybe the only time in your life you see what happens when you steer with a bike with a steering angle. Okay? And I'm not cheating, it's exactly the same what happens here. Because that's the same angle, I wish I could parallel, and it's about the same contact patch area, distance, okay? That's what's happening here, and that's why they give us this kind of stupid graphics where you say, why should I trust that it's a vertical line here, and why should I extend that line to the ground? Okay, now you understand, that's where it's happening. And when I move here, actually it wipes the tire. When I'm rolling, of course, it's not wiping it. It will create some kind of a, I need a nut on backside, okay? I lift it a little bit so I don't get a friction. Actually, it will do this, okay, when I turn. When I move here, I'm creating a Schräglaufwinkel. That means I'm creating a relative angle to the former direction. The first law of Newton, a body, it's the first law, right? I'm not sure. Correct me. A mass continues travels in continuous translation until an impulse, I try to say it in English, I just know it in German, impulse forces it to change direction or speed. Okay? So it wants to go like that, and when I set an impulse here, it will start to move its direction and go around here. Okay, I lost my tire grip. Okay. Okay, no, actually the bread is better than that one. And what also happens then when I turn more, maybe you can see that. Is this still the correct angle, roughly? Yes? No? About? Is it about steering angle? Okay. When I turn now, you see that especially the rear side, and that you cannot see on a tennis ball, the rear side of the tire patch is lifting up. You see? It's lifting up. Okay? And also somewhat the front. Okay, and it's lifting up. And when I go this way, it's extreme. Okay. And this amount where the tire patch lifts up is called the wheel flop, or this is a distance that creates the wheel flop. And the wheel flop is, here I lift the tire patch up, and on a real bicycle, of course, the tire stays on the ground, so what happens? The bike goes down. Okay, long explanation. Some guys predicted that already. I will go a little bit faster then. The bike falls down, and now comes the interesting part on that bike. You have a heavy, stupid person on top, just like a bag of cement. And maybe we have 40–60% weight distribution. So let's say we have 100 kilo because it's easy to calculate. We will have about 40 kilo here in front, just in the sack, okay, just standing. 40 kilo, that means if I have 40 kilo here, okay, and I have something that, oh, it's sealed, shit, okay. This is for you tomorrow. You all get this sealed so that you ride the first 40 minutes with the system activated, and then you take it out. And I have to say, one thing bad about this nice event and this restaurant and the food and the French environment and everything, we don't have enough time. We only have 1 day, and we plan 2 days. Because when you use that, the first day, the first hours, just give you a first clue. And it takes normally 2 days until I steal your expression because I like it, to develop a habit. You have to create a habit. You have to get used to that. And typically after 2 days, you use it more. You learn to trust your bicycle more. And after 2 months, everybody goes to the full extension because you can adjust it, okay? You can have soft, medium, hard. And after 2 months, everybody wants, nearly everybody, the maximum tension. Okay, and that's why we have a seal here. In the beginning, you ride it, sorry, I changed the topics. You ride it fixed, and after about 40 minutes, okay, against 40 years of riding experience, oh no, you're younger, let's say 20 years of riding experience, okay? 20 years against 40 minutes is already a little bit a comparison. That's why we fix it first. If you open it after 1 minute, you have 40 years or 20 years against 1 minute, so it makes you confused, okay? And after 40 minutes, we cut it, and then you can open it, and you have a normal bike, and you see already this little weight from this heavy battery. That's why e-bikes are somewhat stupid, because the battery is heavy, but people are working on that also. It flips the wheel right away. And now if I have 40 kilo, what happens? I get even more torque. That means I get an induced torque force into the steering system, without any advantage. I don't want that. Especially I don't want that when I put the bicycle on a wall and it's falling down. Actually, it makes me very angry all the time. A bicycle is not built to be handled in a workshop. It always makes that or that, right? And maybe that also is shit when you're riding, because it's not a small force like now. It's only the weight of the chassis. When I'm on, it's 40 kilo, and it uses quite a strong force. What do you expect? How I put that in? It's just too shitty, like it was before. What do you expect? How heavy is
the wheel flop story as interesting as I did the first time? But just to relate to something, a bit of history for everyone to be linked on the feeling of the bike. Because Jo, as you understand, is really on the theory side of things when we are riding. And creating the link with the story and the experiences may be helping to understand the process of what's been explained by Jo on the wheel flop is that you guys noticed over the years we've been slacker at the level, especially if we take DH. The bikes were a certain way. I have my 1996 bike in my garage, and when I go on it, I'm like this. So that doesn't work. But we experienced, for example, the maximum. I think I have been riding the furthest. That's what I said earlier. In terms of head angle, we went to 59 in the Livigno World Championship 2005. So it was a long time ago. But the bike was like way shorter, and we were looking for stability because we had a 60k average speed. But then the bike clearly could not steer, was super stable in a straight line, but as soon as you would pass this effect of wheel flop, then there was no chance to actually engage anything, and it just goes. And this whole compromise has been going with the reach. So we went with the reach longer to stabilize that, and still keep a certain steering stability. And everything that Jo is bringing you guys in terms of information, that's what I said to some of you earlier, that this presentation is very unusual and exceptional for me because there is a lot of education, understanding of what is happening between the terrain and what's happening in the engineering side. And the source that I put into steering, into the system, etc., is bringing quite some explication and also the direction of the compromise we are looking at between the stability of the bike and the global chassis. When we ride at high speed, when we want the bike to cruise, when we want to take our hands off, but also the handling when it comes to super tight south of France switchback. And this compromise is going through many of us heads, and we all digging for the ideal technology that every day brings us further to what the DH bike can be or a cross-country bike will be. And every day, a lot of people are putting more thoughts to go towards that direction, and that's what Jo is trying to put into word, and also explaining where the technology is going.
We're fighting for half degrees. We're making 64.5 degree, 64.2 degree. We're making little adjustments because when you do more, we get that here. And that's why you have the chopsticks here. By the way, chopsticks are better than forks and knives, by the way. I think much smarter. You have more fun when you're eating. Okay, so take it home and try it out. If you don't know how to do it, there are good video YouTubes how to do that. Actually, you create a little bridge here and it works. Okay, but now take it without eating. And one last time. Yeah, okay. It's okay. Maybe you two share, okay? And we make what Fab said. We make his 59-degree bike now, okay? And we turn the wheel. We turn the wheel. Okay. And maybe you see already that you get some up and down movement. Well, let's make it more simple. We make a chopper, okay? Chopper, sorry. And we make an extreme chopper, okay? What's the most extreme chopper you can do? Yeah, exactly. We make an extreme chopper, horizontal, okay? And now it should be quite obvious what we have. You smile already, you know. Okay. Compared to the start point, what our ancestors did In the first bikes, I also would do it first like that. You want to steer, I turn the wheel, right? I turn the wheel. But that did something strange, okay? We do it even stranger. And now you turn. Now you turn the handlebar. Okay, we can make here a little handlebar with something. This is my handlebar, okay? And I turn my handlebar. What happens? You have to go a little bit on the edge of the table. Actually, yeah, you do it already. You lay the wheel flat at the end. That means I get maximum wheel flop, which is about the radius of the wheel, the half diameter of the wheel. I get wheel flop. I would have, I don't know, 330 millimeter of wheel flop on a 90-degree handlebar turning angle, right? When I do this and that, I will get about this kind of wheel flop. Down, up, okay? Here in reverse, I have nothing. Okay, 45 degree would be about half-half, not really because it's a sinus. This is stupid thing what you learned in school when your teacher told you take a circle and divide it into 4 pieces and then project it here over in a diagram which is here xy, okay? We make here xy, okay, here's y, x, and you get then at the end you get this kind of sinus, right? This is the function that's behind it. Not important, just that you get the idea. It's not proportional, it's unproportional. And that's very important later for a point that we might address if you're still interested. If you are not interested and want to go to eat, I will follow you, and I'm also hungry. Now, when we look on the Schräglaufwinkel, which is the amount of steering we have to the relative direction we're riding, okay? I know sometimes a little bit difficult. Here I get, when I turn the handlebar, 20 degree. The wheel is turning how many degree?
20.
To the riding direction. I should say correct. Relative to the riding direction. This is my concept here. It's shorter than than this one. When I turn that 20 degree, how much angle do you get relative to your straight riding directions? 20 degree?
20.
Then turns 20 degree, right? Just if you have not tightened your stem, you don't have that. Tani was a specialist in that for a race. He had to make his bike small, so he opened the stem, folded the handlebar, and then he was racing, and always when he was jumping, he was trying with the foot to push back the wheel in a straight line because the stem was loose. Okay, but we don't do that. We tighten our stem so it's connected. Okay, 1 to 1. Now, when we make the extreme chopper, this is a good idea if you try to understand. You overdo it until you get to a border where it's very clear, and then you go back somewhere in the center. Typically, it's a useful area. Just by the way, so this is maybe an useless motorcycle or bicycle, because when you turn now your handlebar, and you saw already you get maximum wheel flop, right? And just tell me how much steering angle you get if I corner here with the handlebar 30 degree. If I go 30 degree, how much steering angle you get relative to the forward direction of the bicycle? Just turn it. Try.
0.
How much? Okay, no need to try anymore. Correct. 0. Okay. That means I get 2 effects with the steering angle. Actually 3. I get a trail, because I'm pulling the wheel behind, actually the contact point of the wheel. I'm still pushing the wheel, okay? But because the contact point is wandering from here to there, to backside, that's why I'm pulling the contact patch of the tire. I'm pulling the contact point. First effect. Second effect is I get wheel flop, okay? I don't really know till today why I get that. I didn't order it and I cannot use it. It just makes me angry, you know? Okay? Now it did not fall over. Good, thank you. And number 3, I get less steering angle on the wheel. Okay? These 3 effects I have. Which was the first one? Huh? I'm pulling the wheel. Okay, I like that. I like that because when I'm pulling something like my dog behind me, it will always follow about my direction, right? The wheel flop, what can I use it for?
Engaging in the corner.
Huh?
Engaging in the corner. Engaging the weight in the corner.
Yes, yes, exactly. If I don't have enough power to tie the handlebar, I get a servo effect that helps me to turn it.
That's what happens when you bring the outside pedal down before engaging the corner. You shift the masses of the bike towards the inside of the corner. When your weight stay parallel to the ground, and the wheel flop engages your direction to shift.
Yes, yes. I can use it as a servo effect. But this effect is around 500 grams to 1 kilo. So probably I also can just make like that. It helps me with another thing. I get more work out. Well, there should be two cases of that. We only have one here. Now the wheel flop is the change of stack height. That's why I'm saying here stack height on that one. And I put together you old bicycles, new bicycles, just looking at the stack height. How much is moving up and down when we turn the handlebar? When we turn the handlebar, how much? 70 degrees roughly, because this is the lowest point roughly. And they end going a little bit up. In short, these are old bicycles here on top. Okay, they have less wheel flop, and the lowest point is a little bit earlier. And the new bicycles, actually, if you measure more, will go up around here. That means they go more down, and the point where it lifts it again is even a little bit more backward. Okay? This is how much? What do you guess on a bicycle? 1 millimeter, 10 centimeter. Okay, good, super good. It's 11, right? Roughly. Okay, and and the weight is about 30-40 kilo. This is about that. Okay. Now you are unlucky. You thought already about that, right, from the beginning, because you are just around the corner here. So, would you lift that up, please? Or you have that? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just 1 centimeter. This was a wheel flop of an extreme chopper. Okay, but if you lift just 1 centimeter, I put my finger here. Okay, so you can just lift up and down, down. Go down, relax, relax, totally. And lift it just 1 finger. 1 finger up and down. And up and down. And up and down. And maybe another 100 times.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. I continue talking. So that's what you do when you ride about 100 turns, okay, on a single track. You're lifting about these kilos 1 centimeter up and down. Okay, so it's not nothing. It's not nothing, but it's easy. You know why? Because this centimeter is distributed over. Sorry. How much is that? 40 millimeter maybe. Okay, so it's a 40 to 1. Yeah, 40 to 1 ratio. That's why I don't feel it, but I do the same work. I do the same work on the steering. Okay, so it's there, and it's not a peanut. It's a peanut on that bicycle because it's only, I don't know, 3 kilo in front. But when I'm on, and especially when I brake, or when I shift weight, or when a bump comes, Actio gleich Reaktio. That's also one of the laws of Newton? No, I think this was the first law of Newton. I always mix it when I need to talk, then I cannot really think. So Actio gleich Reaktio, it's a balance of forces, okay? That means when a bump comes, then your heavy meatloaf says, no, no, I'm slow, I don't follow. I have an inertia, I have a moment, and the bump just creates a force on this träge, what's das träge, on this slow system, on this mass, okay? And that is the same like the mass would push down here. So the impulse coming from here is the same like if I throw down my mass here. And then, of course, the force goes up. If I have 2g acceleration, I get about the double force, I get 80 kilo. I mean, each bump, when I'm here, each bump increases the force between the mass and the ground. It's like God would have a thumb and press from downside, from top side, you, okay? And in front comes an obstacle and works against that. That means I get higher load on the front end, and that creates what? When a bump comes, more torque inwards, more torque. And not proportional, you can see, it's a curve. So depending on the angle, different. And when I brake and I get a dynamic weight shift, it's even worse, then I get even more force. So when I accelerate, I get less again. So I get a momentum here in the steering, and it's always somewhere. If I'm good, I'm using it by purpose in some special situations like you described, when you want to initiate.
The effect of habits that you mentioned earlier is really important, is that all the details that has been analyzed by Jo and that are very pragmatic is things that we do automatically. Comes with habits and the shift weight, the gravity, the center of gravity that is moving there and there is naturally coming from riding. And the goal of R&D and let's say like brainstorming to project ourselves in the future is to kind of reset the base of habits, to brainstorm and bring ourselves into an easier usage of the bike. And as unfair or uncool, sorry, it sounds, it's still giving us a lot more potential to ride more, longer, and faster. And that's what
you just find out what works, and if it works, it's right. Yeah. Good. Wheel shift, okay? I leave out the point with the unproportional steering because it's a little bit detailed, just so much for that. If you have a flat head angle, for you guys that are very in geometry, you get undergear ratio on the steering. That means you get less steering angle in this area, and at the end you get 1-to-1 again. 90 degree you get again 1-to-1, and here you get a low ratio of contact patch angle relative to handlebar angle. That means if I turn the handlebar, I just overdo it, 10 degree, I only deliver 5 degree to the tire patch if I'm going in a flat angle, okay? Steep, I would be 1-to-1, and that's a nice effect. When we flatten the head angle, we don't say, wow, it's so stable, it's so controllable. I hit the line so precise, I can hit it. You think this is because the long caster, the long trail, you're pulling the tire on a long stick, okay? But there's another effect, because you have an under ratio, your tire moves less when you turn the handlebar in the critical area when you go fast, and this is straight ahead, because when you go fast, like I said, like BMW says, in development and testing area, they have 3.6 degree, I think from my memory, where they have the main action on a motorcycle, 3.6 degree only, okay, very little. And the slower you go, the more you would need to turn the handlebar. Otherwise, you have to wait so long when you turn it a little bit until you go 5 meters to the left side. You have to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you don't want to wait, you just turn in sharper. That means when you go high speed, you are in that area. When you go slow speed, you are in that area. And that's why it's a good idea for fast bicycles and rough terrain if you slacken the angle, because then in this area, the sinus on the backside, okay, you get little reaction of the tire, and only at the end you get the 1-to-1 ratio again. That's another effect that adds to the trail, to the pulling power, like pulling your dog, okay, that doesn't want to go out. There's one bad effect on that wheel flop, and that power, that force that I lift, that mass that I lift here, the power I need, because it's unstable. It's always a variable torque that I get inside. Just imagine you get bumps, bump, 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 bump. With each bump, you get extra torque in that direction, or when you steer on that direction, that direction. The only way when it's neutral, the only situation when it's neutral, is when you are on 12 o'clock right away. If you're 2 minutes off before 12 o'clock or after 12 o'clock, you are unstable. And just real quick, what is unstable and stable? In school, you know, this is neutral. The ball stops at any position. I make it quick because smart guys, and 90% or 99%, I should not be offending of you. And this is label. No, because it's flat. It's from IKEA. Is somebody from Sweden? No, okay. But it makes sense in the kitchen, okay. But when, you see, when I put it down, it won't stay. When I turn it around, that's unstable. Or labil in German, in other languages as well, and nobody can see that, but you know what happens. When I put it here, or when I put it here, or when I put it here, always the same end result, it goes to the center. That's stable. Stable is like that, unstable is like that, and neutral is a table. Only on 12 o'clock we're neutral. Everything else is what is it?
Unstable.
Huh?
Unstable.
You said un?
Unstable.
Good, good. Not you again. You always know the right answer. So, oh, it was you. Okay, good. Unstable, of course. I'm making a joke. I think it's pretty clear. The bad thing is, and it always changes. This instability always changes depending the amount of instability, not the curve, not the angle, but because the pressure that I have here in front always changes, even just with a bump. I get always different forces inside here. And I still get it with K.I.S. Because you have to have two sensors, at least one here, one here. You have to have a computer, you have to have a servo motor, a gear, and you have to have a algorithm to calculate, okay? To counterbalance the different weights. Actually, I need a load cell to recognize how much loads in if I want to neutralize that. I cannot do that with that system. That's 70 grams, and it's $1.50 if you make it in India on cheap cargo bikes, and it's 15 if you make it high-end with I don't know what, like we do. It's Dyneema and so on. But what I can do, I can turn this kind of unstable system in something that is, thank you to my graphic guy to not printing this out in big format, to something, I create this in K.I.S. and I overlap that over that one, okay? And what I get at the end is something a little bit like that with that here, okay? That, like that. And if you imagine I would bend this table plate a little bit like that, okay? And would make a little bit hole here, then you would see that I get a gentle returning force, and for sure, because additionally I have this little here on downside, okay? Overlap that with that one. I always will have a centering information. Okay, I will always know where the center is. When I turn over, I feel the center, and don't believe me who is looking the most critical. I don't believe that. Oh, you, maybe. Okay, you just go. I try to hold it. It's a little bit difficult that I don't move, but you just turn the handlebar left to right, and you tell me if you feel an index in the center. When you go in the center, if you feel a knock-knock. makes cluck cluck in the center. Do you feel a cluck cluck?
I don't feel a clock.
Okay, there is no cluck cluck. The reason is because we use the sinus function, which is very shallow, and it gives you information, but it's a very small area where it's soft. And already here you feel the light centering force, and that's exactly what the modern cars have. Who had an old Renault or an old Opel? These are, Opel is a German brand, not really important, but or old Citroën. You have no center, very little center information. It's very loose, right? And you just find out where's front, where's straight, how. Yeah, if you just wait until you hit a tree left or right side the wall, okay? So by the reaction of the vehicle, by the following reaction of the vehicle, you know if you were in center or not, or you see it, of course, by looking that you see your line of sight is the horizon is moving left or right, okay? By the reaction of the vehicle, but from the steering right, I cannot tell you where. I don't know instantly. And you know who does that? Not only this guy, when he's talking about bicycle and he's lifting quite a bit of force there and pushing a force, he's always working with his fingertips. Another guy, Walter Röhrl, I know some things are the same like last time in my last stand-up comedy. When he's talking about rally racing, and Walter Röhrl was, you also a little bit infected with that. He was in the Group B, the best, on the Audi S4, Audi S4, Group B, and those were heavy cars, and also the sport Audi had a short wheelbase, so it was really hard work to do, and he's always talking like that when he talks about steering. It's because he says if the car is reacting, it's too late. And also this here, what they claimed, you need to have the butt sense of a vehicle. It doesn't work. It just worked on the very old cars where the speeds were slow. On a modern system, or the last, not modern, last 50 years, you're too slow. When you feel here, it's over already, especially the mid-engine, where you have low inertia. That means quick twisting forces. That means quick reaction where you want to go, like on a bicycle with no damper, but also unwanted. If I have oversteering, it just doesn't make like whoop, like a 911. On a Cayman or something with a mid-engine, it just makes whoop, and you look everybody coming in front of you, you know, because you turn 180 degrees, okay? So if I would have something that telling my fingertips during riding and giving some time, tomorrow maybe some of you will start to feel it, but you only have maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours riding experience. Maybe, but some of you already feel tomorrow a difference, okay? Not everybody will. Maybe. But if you ride longer, you experience that even if it's dark and you don't have a headlight and you go in high grass and you don't know what's underneath, you have to feel, it's hard to say in words, you feel with your, you read the ground with your hands, because it's the only thing you've got left. You try to understand, is it climbing or is it slipping? For example, if you go sideways on a road, you have the asphalt and you have this curb, negative curb, and the grass or the gravel. And when you go very shallow and try to climb up and down, up and down, up and down, you know this effect? Or you have a deep ridge in the forest and you need to climb up from that. You need to understand what the tire is doing. And that happens even if you have no sight anymore, very nicely if you have what? If you would have your wheel directly in your hand. If I'm like that, I feel instantly, I can borrow you that. The mechanic here made special washers from beer mats. Thank you for that. So now we really can do it. If you try it outside one time, okay? You can really feel how precise, when you roll it, you can really experience what's happening on the tire. When it's inside here, it's not anymore like that, because I always have other forces that just give me shit information on top of that. It's called multiplexing signals or mixing signals, and I just get the mixed final signal here to my hand. Okay, this is very bad. I wish I could really get that, but I cannot, because I need the whole other stuff, because I don't want to run behind the wheel. I want a rear wheel and I want steering, and then I end up with that situation. Okay, I wouldn't have the problem if I have 0° steering angle, because I have no wheel flop, and therefore, because I have no change in head height, I also will have no torque induction. But I have that situation. So what we do is just, we make this effect. Thank you. Good, understood. I make this effect smaller by what? I just create a force that is opposite, okay? And bring the wheel back. Of course, I eliminate not everything. That means what you do by purpose, okay? When you do the weight shift and you already create some steering angle, when you move your mass to the front, it will help you to lean, to turn even faster the steering inside. It's still there. But what it does in most riding positions, it makes this unstable system into a stable one, and it takes out most of the wrong information, most, not all, most of the wrong information that is telling me a lie compared to that. That is a truth. That is a complete lie. Often I just deal with that by watching the reactions of the whole vehicle and reacting then. And this is just a small lie anymore. You can really, but it takes about, I don't know, it depends very much on the person, okay, on the riding, how they control their feet and their hands by their brain, okay? It's very different people. I'm also not very special in that. It takes about 2 months that you really start to trust much, much more what you feel instantly. And the nice thing is, I should talk more about the benefits and about why you should pay money for that. Talking about that, you can drink more without crashing. If you're tired, you're faster, especially in cross country racing, for example. We have a guy who's making riding World Cup. And when you're climbing, your tongue is sticking out just about like, not like, okay? Why? Because when you're climbing, you need to go more or less in a horizontal line. And when your front wheel moves out of the line, what do you have to do? Okay, it's too back, but it's only half of the rent. The other thing is you have to accelerate. You have to make push. Yeah, okay. See, it stays. You have to accelerate to get the extra inertia to turn around back into the line. And this, they said, how did they call it? Bursts. Bursts, I think they called it last time. These bursts, these little sprints that, of course, move up your heart rate when you're already on the limit. And in the meantime, I just need about 1/3. That means 60% of my mistakes I don't do anymore. Because I feel very early what happens, and it seems I just automatically go earlier back, and more often I can ride in the line without doing this intermediate sprints to go back into the line. So climbing, I claim it's easier to ride a manual. I can see it's dinner time now. That's why I use very quickly you. You don't have to stand up. Can you, so you want to take a picture?
That's okay. Thanks, someone.
You.
Go.
You. When, just imagine, okay? You come over there, please, on that side. Do you speak English?
I do. Yeah, where do you want me?
Yeah, you have your Majesty's accent. That's why I ask. Nobody understanding this kind of language. Okay, no, make a joke. Can you touch your handlebar and you just close your eye, or you have this wonderful canyon cap here. So okay, you can see. Yeah, you still can see. So close your eyes additionally.
Yeah.
Okay, and we now put the just try to confuse you, and now you tell me where the center is. Can you see that's the center?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, not you. That was a good answer. That was the best answer of the whole evening, actually. That was the most stupid question. Oh, no. One more. Okay. Now comes the other one. Okay. But you can imagine what happens. If, yeah, we also can put it the other way around. Then your nose is not. Oh, there's a hole here. Okay. Just do it. Just close your eyes, and just close your eyes. And when I do it now, tell me where the center is.
Okay.
You have your eyes closed.
Where's the handlebar?
Here's the handlebar.
That's
yeah.
the handlebar.
Yeah, you are very good, but it's not really the center. You can see it's not really the center.
Okay. Oh.
Can you see it?
Not exactly the center.
Not exactly. Okay, good. When I, of course, because you have a position relative to the bar, so you know where you have been before. When I put you somewhere else, you really cannot tell if you don't have a start point. You cannot tell where the center is. This was my point. I should have moved you to another foot position. I forgot that. Okay. So when it's like that, you try yourself on your bicycle. You cannot feel where the center is. Okay, and
what setting is this on now?
Sorry?
What setting is this on?
Medium. Yeah, and of course, the force that is balanced for your riding situation depends on the weight you put on. That means how heavy you are, basically, and how hard you're riding. Because when you're hard riding, you get more like that. And that also makes more movement. So we try to go somewhere in the center roughly, and therefore we can take out a lot of this unwanted information. Okay. And additionally, I always know precisely. It doesn't matter where I stand. I always know instantly where is the center. Okay. So when I'm riding, I don't need to wait for reactions. I always know where I was. And the difficult part was it's a very simple system. I had complicated systems also, and stupid systems a lot, where they made cluck in the center. Where is it? The cluck was missing. Just trust me, it always made cluck in the center, and this making not cluck. And the reason is for tomorrow when you're riding, you can look at that. Can everybody see it roughly? Okay. We have 3 stages. This is the one I'm proud about. It's a triangle, and a triangle is always stiff. It's a lever from here up to there because we screw in the screws, okay? That's why it's here. From here to there, such a long lever, and we pull on that lever, and that gives us a gentle centering. And it's such a long lever. Expect I would steer now, the lever would turn out here, and with such a long lever, pulling a spring, no way. Okay, so always I had either correct returning action here and a center like on an old, I don't know what, I don't want to offend anybody, maybe on a Dacia or somebody riding a Dacia. Okay, good. Or vice versa. So what I do now, I have a lever this long, and when you watch here, when I turn a little bit more, this band gets loose, okay? It's not dramatic, it's simple, but the effect is quite nice because now I don't have this lever anymore. You see also the side spring is not moving sideways anymore. It stays now in a line and just gets longer. That means I'm just pulling Now I'm just pulling it with that lever. You cannot see, it's like on a cam, like on an overhead camshaft, just symmetrically mirrored, okay, left and right side same, I can have that lever, and when I turn more, it goes down here, okay, so the lever becomes shorter at the end, and that gives you, together with a relatively long spring, this endless kind of feeling that at the end, the force is really about like, oops, going this direction. Okay, this is the centering. We have the long lever. Here is the transmission area, and then it's going to this long flat where I use a cam to decrease ratio. And it's a bend because a bend has no resonance frequency. It's soft, it makes no cluck cluck, and it's extending, exceeding more than 60 million cycles. 10 million is more or less endless in fatigue science. Yeah, I say science. And you don't need to service it. You don't do anything over lifetime. You just put it in, and like you say, you put it in, forget it. Because there are no bearings, it's also important because we have a personal enemy of friction. You know why? And dampening in the steering. There is no pivot point, no bearing, no bushing, nothing. This is just rolling over that. And just the force, you need to bend this little Kevlar polyester. It's called Dyneema. We also have it in climbing. And this is the only resistance that I have here. Okay, and the inner friction of the spring. Okay, is very little. Good.
So what Jo is basically saying is, Jo, is that the three basic components that he has in the system, exactly in this orientation and configuration, make a very specific torque curve and compensates exactly for that wheel flop and gives you additional benefit.
Thank you.
Just to summarize what you just saying. And what's also interesting, feedback from the steering in situations where you don't have feedback. Like for example, when it's loose below the front wheel, then you have all the things he explained before in theory with the wheel flop and the sideway movement of the wheel patch, where it's super loose. You suddenly have a new force that was not there before that gives you orientation feedback.
You get additional information, and by time you will read it.
It's a little demonstrator I printed out for myself. With this thing, I created different curves on my desk to play around with it, different end lengths, different pairings, and it was helpful for our testing together with Fab. We always had this with us. It's just a little thing, but it helps you a lot to get behind all of this, because this is something very new. It's never there before, like a new force suddenly that is always constant. You can always rely on it. It's always there, and even in situations where it's hard to really get control of the bike.
When you compare old cars, I don't recall who said that now, where I said it's better than a Porsche RSR. Was it you? No.
Yeah, like if you take drive this car like M3 from the 80s or 90s, and then put
1980?
Yeah, drive a Yaris today, the steering is better, right? It's tighter. And this is the...
Because then... Sorry.
Go.
No, to go.
That was it. Sorry.
Because the new car has more centering force. It applies much more force against your palm. And when we talk about steering, mainly it's pushing, it's not so much pulling. Because we have more sense this way. It's more difficult to control this way. It's okay. Also on a car, also rules, it's always the pushing hand on the right side, and that turns the left hand. Okay, and it creates a counter force. And if you have a counter force and a force, what do you get? You get a balance. You get a balance. Aktio gleich Reaktio, and it's stable. If I have no counter force, or I have a changing counter force, I can have not a really stable situation because my palm moves forward, backward, depending on how much force I have here. Okay, by inertia, by impulse, doesn't matter. By weight shift, it's always changing. It's still changing here, but it's changing less.
It's something I realized just by the speech you're having tonight, and based on the feeling with you talking, like the other day. It's like
that brings you an extra force when you ride. So it definitely creates stability and bring you a new sense of pressure. Obviously, in downhill, when you're riding up, you have your hands, you have your feet, and on a moto, you have your hands, you have your feet, you also have your butt where you can sit on the moto. And all those forces is how you interpret the terrain all the way through you coming to your body. And the bike, obviously, is transferring all this data within to you. This counterforce that you mentioned, and I'm not even sure if you realize yourself, but naturally, I think that when we ride, we either pulling on the bar to bring a counterforce that stabilizes, but every time we steer, we probably pull on one side and push on the other, which allows to stabilize the bar in our hands. And having this extra force is basically releasing this tension and allows you, when you put the bike into the line, to use only one arm and not necessarily all the time the two. So you gain in precision, but you also gain a lot in fatigue.
Very good.
Between 100 grams and 800 grams, okay? I get back again. I get back again when I go to neutral, because I don't have to lift the whole case anymore, okay? Here I get a little bit more resistance to get stable, and I get the more true reading from the tire, much more true reading from the tire, okay? I get more truth, and when I turn back, the spring is delivering, of course, this energy stored here, and I get it back, of course. We need to understand, when I do that, okay, or when I'm sitting on the bicycle, I do that, I did the same work. Here, it's collapsing. I have to hold it that it's not snapping, okay? And now I have to pushing it, double, okay? With that one, it's not collapsing, see? And backwards, it's easier to turn back. So I do the same work. Okay, nearly, I cheat. It's 0.0001% I lose because this creates heat, okay? And heating the universe by very, very little. You can say basically you get back the energy that you put in, I get back. So when I make that and that, I did exactly the same work. The same watts, the same.
What's also a super interesting aspect I found was when Fock was testing it in the beginning, one of the very first things he said that it's connecting the back end in a different way to the front.
Yes. Just like where we talked about the damper, if you stiffen that, you can steal some weight from that area and put it to there, that this gets slower, like Obelix with the Hinkelstein, okay? Slow, and Asterix, quick moving, okay? I can make this, I can increase the moment of inertia. And there's another trick that actually from this guy and these guys, and then Vincent described it to me very well. You create a U shape in your body, good riders, okay? I was thinking, I still like that. I still like that or like that, okay? I still like that or that. And then Vincent said, yes and no. In some situations you have to do that. But when you really go over rough terrain, we have a lot of impact from the front, how those guys can ride on the width of a cigarette box, okay? They lock in that situations here, the upper body like a U shape, use this inertia, and they twist here in the, what is called above the hips, the Lendenwirbel, I don't know the word. Lendenwirbel, this here, this rotational joint, this you use. You do like that, and the whole mass on top, you unite as one unit to this too little mass. It's smarter than using a bag of cement or a big stone in front, okay? Okay, so this I just want to add additionally, and you can try that even more and dare more if you can rely on the feedback from the tire, what you feel here. So there are two benefits, and basically you get a more unscattered signal from the tire, and this of course will take weeks. You really trust it. First, you still do like you did before and say, well, I need this shit, and it's just extra force I wasn't used to, 70 grams, and I cannot get it on my bicycle because this idiot has a patent, okay? But when you get away with these ideas, you find, especially if you have bad sight, or you're drunken, or it's dark, or it's high grass and you don't know what's hidden, you become really thankful that it doesn't tell you a lie so often, just a little bit, but not so much anymore. And the second is, when you're really fighting, automatically, even an idiot, I wish somebody, you did already, even an idiot feels instantly where's the center. He knows exactly what he's doing, right away when he's doing. And this is enough already. And why we're worried about the front wheel so much? Why I talk so much about that? Yeah, because I want to make, actually, it's really true. I wanted to make something like a sidekick stand without having this shit stick, because I made a stem where you can turn the handlebar here for the CE, which is a new model that has an integrated K.I.S where I see nothing. I don't have the picture here. Outside it is. You can see, like Roll says, Sie sehen, dass Sie nichts sehen. Like in the Nürburgring when it's raining, okay? You see that you see nothing. It's just a little knob on top and it's hidden inside. This is for demonstration that I can release it totally. So when I turn it, no tension. That's why I need a lot of travel. And I want you to do that right in a difficult situation where you can take off just one hand for 1 or 2 seconds. You just can do that or that, okay? That's why I have this mechanism. You don't need that mechanism. You just need this ring, the cam, the bend, and the spring, and something to fix it. That's it. You don't need more. Yeah. And when I did that stem where you can fold over, see? And now, did you hear? Now it's already secure. And if you want to take out the little play, what I need, each time clicks securely, like click pedal, you just turn half rotation, finished. You even can ride like that. It survives 2.5 ton inside. So once you did that, you're safe already. Again, I lost the track, and you can just put it somewhere.
That's
and
history,
yeah. And then I thought,
or the idea was from a static approach, and then
yeah, this was the start point.
Pretty cool.
So there was no little
understanding that was like some years ago.
Yeah, there was no bird from God that said, "Oh, Joe, you should think about inducing forces in the steering." No, it was because of that. I wanted just not having a bend to put it over here to keep it together. Okay, just want that it automatically stays like that. And then I thought, if this is stable, that also might help when riding. And that when I got when I got the needle, and then. Okay, going back to that, yes? Yeah, you're smart. You're too smart. That's not a problem for you, but for me. I can take some of the mass here, some of the forces to the front end by the spring. This is what Fab, as one of the first together with Vincent, brought up. I didn't look at that way, but it's true. It does the same like a damping. I steal some peace of mind, some controllable, slower reaction from the mass behind, and delivers it to the front. But with no delay. With no delay. It's still totally open. Okay? Good. And why the front is so important? You know this gag already. I'm not good in repeating gags, so I will use somebody else. You? Okay. This is the end of the story. The front wheel is so important. You know already. I hate that, but maybe I can. The front wheel has the most shitty workplace on the whole bicycle. Sometimes, can you just relax on the floor? Horizontal, like on a trial show. Like on a trial show.
Don't let me.
You know, but I'm okay. Now I jump over you. I'm a very bad rider. Okay, I normally always hurt the people. No, I don't do that. When we look on the two contact patches, the only connection that we have to ground. Okay, there's no miracle. There's no shortcut. Only Okay, it's about that situation here. Center of gravity roughly is about here. I cheat, I put it there. And this is my front wheel, contact patch. Actually, the broomstick is a little bit too long, okay? And for rear wheel, pretty much copy set. Well, when I would be over here and you could see it, you could see the contact patch, the writing, okay? When I'm here, it's about here, okay? This is a rear wheel situation. And it's simplified because I don't have a wheel. And a wheel is a genius invention. Because friction-wise, but he will criticize me because I went off the track. He's very good on staying on track, obviously. He earns money with that. I earn no money with that. For friction, because you have very low friction diameter inside here and a very long lever that overcomes this friction inside here, that's the principle for the wheel. It's not that it's round. A roll is also round, but it's not a wheel because the secret is very small bearing and a very large outside diameter and have a long lever to overcome the resistance inside. This is a trick, the real trick of the wheel. And the second thing of the wheel is when I go against the obstacle, okay, it does not work anymore if it has the same height like the hub. Then it's just like I'm riding against the wall. But everything that's underneath that point, okay, I actually have levers. Why I say I was actually stupid? I have levers like that. They're a little bit longer. I have here a very, very special tool. Where's my box? Here's my box. Very special tool. I just can recommend also when you talk about force on a bicycle, you said you can create triangles and everything. This is my lever here, okay? And with that lever, here's the obstacle. I just simplify it, okay? Theory. And so far I don't have a better one. If here's the obstacle, this is a series of levers, okay? And these levers are delivered lever by lever by lever, lever by lever by lever by lever, just like the following of the spokes. And when at that moment, let's say here's the hub, there comes the obstacle. Actually, the wheel goes against the obstacle, okay? I have here an obstacle height. This is like Last und Kraft arm. Okay, like lever number 1, lever number 2. This says, no, no, I don't let you go over. It's not really, it's more like that, okay? No, no, I don't let you go over. And here the hub says, I have the longer lever. And I'm actually levering over the obstacle. And that is why bigger wheels roll easier over obstacles. If I have no obstacle, no difference really, just the contact tire patch, the air pressure and that kind of thing, but I can create that with different tires in a different way, different air pressure. But when I have obstacles, the more the hub is away or higher than the obstacle height, the easier I can lever over it. Nobody explained that really like that, and everybody's wondering why a small increase in diameter just let it roll so easy about obstacles. And they're saying it's the little angle here, the wedge angle, it's a little bit more flat, then it's easier. But when you calculate that, it really make nearly no difference. And it's in reality so impressing how much big wheels roll easier. That's, in my opinion, because the obstacle, I cannot tell, go lower. I can say, yeah, you go lower. You're too high for me. It just will not listen to you. But I can go home, put in a longer lever, a higher hub position, a bigger wheel diameter, and I will eat this little sucker. Okay? Okay. So this I miss here on that. The lever, I said that on the broom example. But when you look just on the contact patch now, not considering the wheel diameters, okay? Here. I say the more, the better, okay? If I have enough space. If you just look on the contact patch inertia, the center of inertia, I'm coming here, and obviously you are lazy, you don't move. I mean, you could go away, but okay. And my mass says, I'm I don't care about you. I want to continue further. Okay, that's also law of Newton. If there's not a reason, I continue to stay in peace or in continuous translation. So this says I don't care. Downstairs it's saying I stay where I am, and it creates a momentum like that. Okay, you see, like that, and the vector is even steeper then. And where does the broom want to go? Where does the broom want to go? Look exactly like that. It would be like that. Okay, but it's coming about from that angle, and it's getting even steeper because I want to continue with my mass. It wants to go underneath you. Your front wheel wants to copy a mole, right? This mouse with a big front feet and useless eyes, more or less, want to dig underneath, which is not very healthy for us. And now when we look on the rear wheel, and then it, can you predict what happens? The wheel when I go over? Okay, I just do it. Okay? Very simple. When you do a vector calculation, when you take the vectors of the forces and the resulting vector is like that, that means everything, the mass system wants to go in that resulting direction of the resulting vector in the vector calculation. When I look here, this is the resulting vector, and the mass will pull the front wheel in that direction. It will just pull it over. Okay, sorry, because here, the rear wheel, I pull forward and up. The front wheel, and now we come to the beginning, we put also forward, actually push, you said, but down. Okay? The only solution would be if we, the rider, would be also like that on the ground, and we would pedal like that. Okay? Then we would have a very flat vector, but when we are on top, we always have that situation. And that's why the front wheel has the most shitty workplace on the whole bicycle. If you want to do any donations to any part, help this little sucker. Good night.
Get up now. Oh, big hand for you too.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, tomorrow morning they would have found you. And
we talk a bit about the final product actually.
Yes.
I forgot this point again.
It's all good.
Same mistake like last time.
You guys will get sent press kits with all the product information, specifically with Lightbill, also with Canyon. That should be with you Monday, but very quickly. So the Canyon product has the K.I.S technology integrated into it, same as the Lightbill here. We chose to use the Spectral, and it's this bike here you see behind Moritz and Vincent's. Yeah, it's a Spectral. It's a CF8 model, so it's Shimano, XT, and Fox. So yeah, not mid-range, but also not high-end exclusive bike. Bike comes in at €499, so it's plus €500 on the standard CF8. You get a few other toys in the box, like extra tools and some accessories. But the reason we chose this bike is for us a bit of a statement as to what this technology can do. This is the bike for almost every rider, the Spectral. You know, whether you're kind of new to the sport, intermediate, or if you're a really advanced rider, you can still buy this bike, and it's the right bike for you. And that's how we see this technology. It's going to appeal to high-level rider, mid-level, and entry, but obviously appeal in different ways, as Jo kind of explained, that being alluded to as well. The system weighs 110 grams. On the Canyon, I think the Lightbill is lighter, so they got us by 40 grams. But yes, it's adjustable, it's fully integrated, it's service-free, and yeah, that's a real rough rundown on this bike. And the Lightbill, I guess, Bengt or Donnie to do it.
Yeah, I just have some words about the Lightbill 301C. It's the first bike that will come with the K.I.S system integrated. As Jo explained, this we call it the mousetrap. It's just for a demo version. It's for you and for customers. They want to feel really the difference. You can disengage it during riding, so you can see difference with the system and without the system. We choose this for the press cam because we can show you the difference, and you can switch it on and off during riding. And this is my. Maybe we can talk later tomorrow if you have ridden the system about the advantage in detail. But just for the moment, I want to give you this system as a just try it, and tomorrow we talk about your feeling about it. The 301 CE, back to the topic, is integrated system. You see only from the outside this this positioning device. You can adjust it, same as the Canyon, and everything from the system is inside. The 301 CE is it's an e-bike with the Shimano EP8. Actually, it's coming on the market next year in the beginning, so January, February.
Oh, we're lucky.
With the 801.
Well,
Shimano
lucky
engine.
will come on the 25th of December. Yeah.
And it's have the new Shimano EP801 and a 750 watt-hour battery. So it's
A lightweight battery.
improvement to the actual model. 160 millimeter enduro bike, carbon frame, aluminum wheel trailer. Just for the rough details, and it's the pricing is about $8.99, $8.999, and to $11.999, depending on the components.
C'est fini.
One other quick one, sorry, Jack. Just very quickly, because I think we missed one of the key points. I mean, you guys can feel the authenticity of Jo when he talks and how much engineering he put in there. But I think for Vincent, Mo, and I, there is one key feature of the system that you guys is I think really relevant to us, and it's something that maybe we should put properly in word. Is the link that he provides between the front and the rear wheel. The chassis until now is really disconnected. Like when you ride, you have the front wheel that is totally disconnected of the rest of the bike, and 80% of your weight is on the back of the chassis. When bringing your weight towards the front is something that is demanding quite some effort, or either help the geometry and the bar position and angle reach to actually get some weight for your steering. The beauty of the system for me, and again, the system is a revolution, and I don't think it's something that we pop on and everything is a go. There is a habit that is needed. There is still some understanding from my perspective on many aspects. But one thing that is sure, and the first thing that we felt from doing it on a DH bike, on an e-bike, or even on a trail bike, is when you, for example, oversteer and lose the front wheel on a normal bike, it's either when it goes, you put your foot out or you're on the ground. And there is no really way to control and feel the front wheel. Even if we can see Loris Vergier now in downhill, it's probably the first one like Samuel back in the days to be able to control it. But that's skills. That's a different topic. But the beauty of the system is when you engage and you put the front wheel onto the angle and you're actually losing the grip, the oversteer that you do when you unbalance is actually pulling on the system and generating a force that demands the back end to follow the front. And it is, for me, the first system that actually provides front wheel and two-wheel drift control for any people. And once you start feeling this, you will be noticing, like if you take gravel road and you start to send corners to corners, you will notice that you can do, and I don't know if you guys are skiers, but it feels like it's one piece, like when you have skis on field. So it really feels like you can. And I did try the system, and Vincent was not stoked, but I tried the system with quite some tension right away because I like to go on an extreme and then come back to things and find the right compromise. And right away, the first thing you feel is obviously finding the precision is hard because we are used to free steering. So this is hard to get the right things. But then obviously the first thing that is obvious is the stability in the straight because you have two ropes holding you and you don't need to pressurize anything on the underbar. but also when you really engage, you feel like when you press with your foot, you naturally put load on your front wheel without the need to actually put pressure with your hands. And this actually connects the whole piece and provides a proprioceptive and a terrain from the ground that allows you to just have this movement where front and rear wheel are connected to each other and not independent, where you have to do the work to bring the gravity center exactly in the sweet spot, but the bike naturally links itself together and allows more, I would say, tolerance of where your masses are on the bike. I don't know if I'm clear. So hopefully you guys can push on. I didn't want to add anything to your presentation.
You're writing it now. How long, Fabio?
The system, we used it like 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
6 months.
I really have to apologize. You only have
maybe 3 hours, but maybe you already can feel a little bit of the beginning. And once you trust it, you will use it more and more and more. It's just a learning curve where you don't have to think, you just write. Even a monkey, if you put a monkey on that, you don't have to explain what it is.
What you say, the worst enemy is
just give him time on that, really, and it's getting better.
Get rid of it and put some time into it. But anyway, I didn't want to add anything to the presentation and restart anything. Let's go. Good. Guys.